Right now, we've got our first. We have again 2 shouty show segments here. The first one is Jets centric, so we can talk about Robert Saleh and his firing. So let's get to the first shouty show segment. This one again being Jets centric here.
Congrats! You just fired the most competent coach on your staff. Nat Hackett is probably the worst OC in the league.
Nat.
He's still there because Aaron makes sure he's there. So this will be the 5th head coach, interim coach in 11 years. Does it sound like a well-run business? If you owned a company, you're on your 5th CEO in 11 years, would you be a well-run company? For the record, if they beat the Bills on Monday Night Football, that terrible Robert Saleh coach, they would have been in first place. So the interim coach is Jeff Ulbrich, who was the loud guy on Hard Knocks, former player. Kyle Shanahan tried to hire him at one point, kind of an alpha guy. He could win. I mean, interim coaches like substitute teachers, everybody loves them. He could win. I wouldn't doubt it. But in the end, you're on your 5th coach, head coach or interim coach in 11 years. This is what you are as a franchise.
I kind of agree with that.
It's tough to disagree with any of that. Other than, I don't know if Saleh is the best coach in the building. Like, Ulbrich might be. I don't know.
Right. But, I mean, he was referring specifically to, Tim or Nathaniel Hackett.
He calls him Nat.
Nat Hackett.
Nat Hackett.
Nat Hackett.
I mean, look, we've highlighted the Hackett-Rodgers relationship quite a bit here. Hackett hasn't been a good offensive coordinator throughout his career. He happened to be in the building when Aaron Rodgers had the 2 MVP seasons, which only coincided. I'll say this. The Matt LaFleur, the late career Aaron Rodgers, without Matt LaFleur splits are starting to become pretty significant.
Yeah.
If you go back to, say, 2018, when the Packers were 4-7 and Mike McCarthy got fired, if you go back to about 17 or 18 in Rodgers' career, and you just split it up, and I'll do this maybe this week, without Matt LaFleur. And even like Matt LaFleur year 1 was 2019, and it wasn't great, but 20 and 21 was outstanding. The without on Matt LaFleur seems to be the biggest driver to Aaron Rodgers' success, not Nat Hackett.
Yeah, I mean, that one I think is a fairly reasonable point. Let's see what the second shouty show clip is.
The offense was inept when they had Zach Wilson. The offense was inept when they had Mike White. It was inept when they had Joe Flacco. It was inept when they had Sam Darnold. Talk about the quarterback play. 3 interceptions again. 53% completion percentage last week. 57 this week. Nah, I'm not going to let you blame it on the offense because you didn't blame the offense when they had those other quarterbacks. You blame the quarterback. But you want to stay in good graces and you won't call Aaron Rodgers out. He's playing awful. You know it. Everybody in New York knows it, and everybody around the NFL knows it. He's playing terrible. Call it like you see it.
That is full shouty show.
That's good. That's a lot of yelling. There's a lot of yelling there, Shannon Sharpe.
I don't know. Here's the thing, right? Like, Cowherd is like, oh, they fired the wrong guy. I don't know why they needed to fire anybody. They're 2-3. They just lost to a team that's 5-0, right? In London. It's not. This is not a situation that needed to be blown up and quick. It's a disaster. Let's reverse course. Like, they're in a better situation than the Bengals are, and the Bengals aren't firing people, right? If you think that you actually have a chance of going on a run, and again, next week is Buffalo, who are supposed to be, the best team in that division. You win that game, you're 500, you're right back in it. I don't agree with the idea that Aaron Rodgers is playing terrible, period. Rodgers had a bad game against Brian Flores' defense, which has put everybody in a blender, right? Brock Purdy played badly against Brian Flores' defense. C.J. Stroud looked like a lost rookie quarterback in the headlights against Brian Flores' defense. Aaron Rodgers had a bad game against Brian Flores' defense. Fine. But he's actually playing reasonably well this season. He has 4 interceptions, 3 of which came in that game, right? He's playing okay. The offense as a whole is not playing well. Rodgers individually is not playing particularly badly, right? So I agree that the offense needs to improve. I don't agree that the solution to that is fire the defensive-minded head coach.
The part of that is normally I am of the mind that a PFF grade does a really good job of isolating the quarterback's play, and something like EPA per play is more of a team-driven stat. Let's pretend that that's true. The problem is that Aaron Rodgers, as I said the other day, is a big part of the personnel. He is a big part of who's out there making plays. And I feel like he's a little bit more to blame than maybe some of the production metrics would indicate at this point. So I think there is a lot on Rodgers.
Right,
No, I'm not saying he can't come out of it either.
And none of that is solved by firing a coach.
No, it's not.
So that's the problem, right? Is that if you believe that Rodgers is personally at fault for the offense on the basis that he's essentially the offensive coordinator, that's a reasonable.
So you agree with Shannon?
Well, that's a reasonable.
That he shouldn't.
That's a reasonable point to make. But the solution to that is he needs to get challenged, which Salah's the most capable person of doing that within that building, to actually go back to Rodgers and be like, dude, you need to pull your end of this to a better place. The defense is good. You need to get this more on track if we assume that Nathaniel Hackett, is a puppet, right? So that's my problem with this. If you think Rodgers is individually more at fault because he is effectively the coordinator as well, then you don't fire the one guy in the building that might have a shot of actually going head-to-head with him and saying, fix it.
All right, we've got one more Shouty Show segment. This is like the official Shouty Show segment for today. The first one was just Jets-related. Let's get to this, the first of our Shouty Show stuff, things. Go.
Deshaun Watson is awful. It's so awful that if somebody wanted to arrest him for being awful, I would accept it. It's that bad.
I don't mean to laugh at
I don't mean to laugh either. It's funny, but it's wrong to laugh, so I apologize.
Same.
It's not funny. His QBR yesterday in the Washington against the Washington Commanders was 8.5. Do you know that wasn't even his worst QBR of the season? It was 8.3 against the Cowboys in week 1. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to tell you about? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you know QBR better than me. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody know QBR is you? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, are you kidding me? 8.5?
Here we go.
I just appreciate that Stephen A. bringing analytics to the table. That he has no idea about the number. He just knows that 8 is bad.
Yeah, and probably didn't even know that until somebody told him.
I did mean to bring this onto the Monday show. Deshaun Watson, we talked about the futility of the Browns quarterbacks. He also has ESPN's QBR, 2 of the 4 single-digit games this season, which is awful.
That was the lesser-known element, the lesser-known Shouty Show style, which is you don't shout until the very end. But you just make a series of quiet, understated,
slow build-up,
right? But outlandish statements, right? So you keep the tone down low, you keep the cadence, nice and even, but you quietly suggest that he's so bad that he should be arrested for being this bad.
Should be arrested,
right?
Yeah. To put it into 1980s WWF context, you have the Jake the Snake type of interview.
Have you watched that Vince McMahon documentary yet?
No.
Get on it. It's good.
Is it like a propaganda piece for him?
No.
Not one of those?
I mean, it would.
What's it on?
What's it on? Netflix.
Netflix. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But Jake the Snake would draw you in with like a whisper. And then you have the Ultimate Warrior who would just scream the whole time. The Ultimate Warrior was the original Shouty Show guy. So he should be arrested.
The original Shouty Show guy.
Not for all the other accusations, but he should be arrested for the football playing.
That's the reason to arrest him.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Let's go to the next overreaction. Out of baby time. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Jordan Love is equal parts Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Frustrating, exhilarating, lethal. The Super Bowl has never been more on. See you in NOLA. Hashtag go, pack, go. AJ, do you think that's the case?
I've never really heard anybody, I guess, describe Jordan Love like this, but yeah, when you see this, it does make sense a little bit. Like Jordan Love, he's the guy. Like when I watch him, I feel confident in the Packers offense with him, and I think the rest of the team feels that too. So, yeah, maybe Ty is right here.
That could be the chime in right there that puts AJ over the top for the Emmy.
Well, so interesting, McAfee, a new entry to the Shouty Show segment. I don't know if his show can qualify as a shouty show, right? Now he does shout. They escalate.
It's not him. It's the emailer is doing the shouting.
Agreed.
It's their overreaction Monday.
But as a general concept, right? There is shouting on the McAfee show, but it's not it's not Stephen A. Smith style shouting, right? It's not shouty show shouting. And whether or not the McAfee show as a concept can be shouty, there is absolutely no way that AJ Hawk can be a shouty show person.
Are you afraid of Pat McAfee? You afraid that he's going to think that we're insulting him?
No, I mean, I don't care if we insult him otherwise. I just don't think his show is a shouty show.
I agree. I mean, they're doing something similar to us, which is essentially letting people make the outlandish statements and then reacting accordingly.
But whether or not they are, there's no way AJ Hawk is. You know, he's too monotone and beige to be a shouty show person.
AJ?
Yeah.
I mean, that's Emmy worthy. He agreed.
He
Good
agreed.
Dynamite drop in, AJ.
I agree.
The Jordan Love. I love that the Jordan Love reaction came after a Sunday in which he levised a pick six. And did you see the screenshot out there of like him at release and be like, how impressive is it to throw a ball from this position? It's like, it was a pick six.
Not that impressive.
Jordan Love, even the best announcers in the world, cannot help but make the Aaron Rodgers plus Brett Favre comparison. You cannot go a game without some sort of direct comparison, like Aaron threw just like this. Oh, Favre, also like to roll out and throw pick sixes in opportune times.
What does that add? Adding Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers is simply meaning you're a really talented player who makes more crazy plays than Rodgers? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that Brett Favre, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, is now like his legacy is crazy plays.
I mean, he's still, three-time MVP?
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
In the NFL for a while.
That's what I'm saying. His resume is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but his legacy is you bring crazy to the table.
That's some volatility to the game as well. McAfee, not exactly a shouty show, but they have the segment on Monday where they allow for shouty show type of takes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to number 3.
But everyone convinced me, no, he's going to do a great job here in Pittsburgh. He majors in the run game, all of that stuff. We've seen very little of it so far.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great that he majors in the run game because Pittsburgh needed that.
Right.
But this guy's passing attack, I mean, oh, my God. What do we got? What high school did we borrow this passing attack from?
Seriously.
I mean, it's awful. It's awful. I don't care what kind of receivers you have. So to me, no, when you say he's an overrated guy, I mean – I get it, man. We know he got money and stuff like that. Doesn't mean you're I'm going to criticize you when I think it's awful, and I think it's awful.
So Rex Ryan is quietly, I think, becoming one of the more impressive shouty show exponents out there, right? Yeah. A lot of times you get these coaches and they go on shows and they either value the relationships they still have with people in the league, or they more often want to get back in the league. In either case, you are reluctant to go too far in terms of criticism, right? And it leads to some pretty crappy television. But then you get people like Rex Ryan, and where he becomes one of the top shouty show people is it's impossible to differentiate between things Rex Ryan says and things drunk people at a bar say, right? And this is true with Stephen A. Smith as well, and Skip Bayless. And this is really a shouty show. This should be part of the definition. In order to be a true shouty show, like a true piece of art from the shouty show genre, it has to be completely indistinguishable from a drunk person at a bar. And that's where we're going.
That's good.
There's no analysis there. It's just, this is garbage.
Yeah. I mean, you could say passing attack's outdated. I mean, Rex has the ability to really disparage the subject.
Yes,
right?
And to break it down,
really
to actually explain why he believes that this is terrible. Instead, it's just like, this is garbage because I say so.
Yeah. You could say it's outdated. Like, we made the statement, maybe Aaron Rodgers 10 years ago offense is a little outdated. The non-Matt LaFleur offense. Static, slant flat 900 times a game. Maybe it's a little outdated. Rex? No. High school.
Yeah.
That's high school Harry type stuff. You know what I mean? Rex has that ability.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising. Like when when you're hiring Rex Ryan for a shouty show, you expect you're going to get some of this stuff based off his
right. I mean, you might
willingness to say a lot of things as a head coach.
Yeah. You might hope there would be more insight there, but shouty will do.
No insight whatsoever.
None.
Just
in that clip, anyway. Yeah.
High school Harry, Arthur Smith. Mm-hmm. That's what he is. All right. We always appreciate the shouty shows for giving us little content to react to. That was Rex's debut here.
Yep, Rex's debut.
Our boss, Mike T's old colleague with the Jets.
Rex's debut. We got
McAfee's
McAfee,
first.
which is a debatable one, whether it even qualifies.
And we got the whispers of Stephen A.
Right, the
Not
lesser known Stephen A. style.
Because you can't yell, you cannot shout the entire.
You got to vary.
How many hours are these shows on?
You got to vary cadence. You got to vary volume, timbre, the whole thing.
It is a good. It's a good trait that speakers use, though, is to slow it down, right? Draw people in. Start wanting to know what's next. What's he gonna say? Should be arrested.
Yeah.
You know, you just set it up. It's a really good setup. Should be arrested for that football plan.
Yes. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.